Our next guest led the team that brought Major League Baseball's All-Star Game to Seattle last month. Her name is Mandy Lincoln, and she's here to tell us how it all happened and lessons learned from this experience that really made the city shine on a national stage. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, the first question I have to ask is, you got done just now with 2 years of intensive planning.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you did when it was all over?
The game ended. We all raised a glass, necessary glass.
Yeah.
But then we had 10 games in 10 days right after it, so there was no rest for the weary, and we just jumped right back into it.
I mean, I was just wondering, was there like a moment when you went and just had a fast food thing, or you just went home and went into a coma, or what?
Yeah, I slept in the next morning for sure.
Okay. Slacker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how did you get bit by the baseball bug?
So my dad's been a season ticket holder for the Mariners since 1978. So I grew up with baseball, and then the magical 1995 season, I was 10, 11 years old, and so I was hook, line, and sinker, fell in love with that team, just, you know, being part of that magic carpet ride.
And now to have this job, it's like a dream. You've been working for the Mariners for over a decade, and then you were put in charge of this massive project that would be 2 years in the making. Where did you even start?
You know, when I started in the summer of 21 on this project, it had already started in 2018, securing the bid to actually host. So we just rolled up our sleeves, and we knew that we had the game, and formed all these different committees, both internally and externally, to meet weekly. And we've, for the last 2 years, been meeting, just pulling it all together, you know, just trying to have learnings from previous clubs that have hosted.
Right, so you actually did some research and went to, is it LA and Denver?
Yes.
What did you take away?
You know, LA's a big market down, a big city. They're hosting events all the time, national, international events on an annual basis. So if you blinked, you kind of missed All-Star down there. And we went with a large delegation, even from the city. You know, we had the fire chief, the police chief, the mayor's office. A lot of people went down to observe. And so it was nice to say, hey, we see how LA is doing it. How can we make this better? How can we, you know, really make Seattle shine?
And you did say that it felt like it just went by and people didn't notice. And I felt like it was very intimate here, which I know doesn't show all the behind the scenes and the big stuff, but it did just feel like this is us, this is ours. What were some of Seattle's unique challenges?
You know, I would say it's making it uniquely Seattle. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't Major League Baseball picking up the All-Star Game from LA or from Colorado and just moving it into Seattle and plopping it down. We wanted to make sure it was uniquely Seattle. You know, we have the privilege of having the largest broadcast territory, reaching as far as Montana, Idaho, Alaska, Oregon. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, everyone felt included in this All-Star. So it comes with your challenges, but we made sure we had a presence in those markets leading up to, during, and even after All-Star.
We're showing some of the video of what it was like on the streets during that week, and I have to say, to be here, it was pretty exciting. And you had to feel pretty good when you saw the weather.
Right?
What was it like watching it all unfold?
You know, it's the weather. It's Seattle's best kept secret, where, you know, everyone thinks it's doom and gloom here all the time, but it's not. And, you know, the weather was just the icing on the cake for this this week. And, you know, I'm so proud of Seattle and this region and how prepared we were. You know, we weren't putting out fires during that week. We were walking around and just seeing the joy on everyone's faces. I don't know how many times I walked between Pioneer Square and, you know, the Stadium District, and everyone's having fun. They're playing catch in the streets, you know. Seattle really showed up for this.
Did you have a favorite moment or an event?
The draft was held over at next door at Seattle Stadium, and we walked in, and there was 5,000 people there for a draft. When I went to it in LA and the Rockies, there was maybe 100 people.
That had to feel really good.
So to see Seattle show up, you know, they did that at Pike Place Market. That was, again, uniquely Seattle.
That red carpet was so fun. And that Seattle experience that everybody was going to. We saw some of the pictures of just the Velcro wall. And, and the, you know, it was fun. You always expect to see the happiness on kids' faces, but you could really feel the adults were happy walking around here. It was just, it was a lot of fun to see those smiles. Seattle's also getting NHL's Midwinter Classic in a few months, and the World Cup will be here in a few years. What's your advice to those who are in that planning process?
And then they're in that planning process already. You know, NHL and FIFA were out here observing All-Star Week, so they saw it. But we knew that this was going to be a stepping stone for all of these future sports events that have come to Seattle. So I think that they saw firsthand that, Seattle is ready for this, that Seattle can shine a spotlight, on sporting events here in this great region. So there's been, summits being held recently. We're having another one here in September where we're going to recap All-Star and already look ahead to NHL Classic and even years ahead to FIFA.
I was going to ask you, what are you ready for another major event that you're in charge of? World Series,
How about not necessarily in charge? I'm like another playoff run. Mariners are hot right now. I'd like to see a big postseason.
I went right to the World Series.
Yeah. Right? Let's do it. Let's bring MLB right back.
You're ready. All right. Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun, and thanks for bringing that. We kind of needed that boost, I think. We really did. So thank you so much.
Thank you.